You ever catch yourself doing something and think, why do I do that? Why do I panic when things are calm? Why do I feel guilty for setting boundaries? Why do I shrink when I have every reason to take up space? Why does everything feel unpredictable? Here's the truth most people don't want to say out loud. What was normal in your family may have never been healthy. And until you see that clearly, you might mistake dysfunction for your personality. It's time we change that. First things first, let's talk about this whole normal thing. I hate the word normal. What does it even mean? Because everyone's got their own version, and most of us never stop to question it. The problem? What feels normal is often just what we got used to, even if it was painful. If no one talked about feelings, that became your normal. If love was silent, chaotic, or weaponized, normal. If boundaries were ignored, if affection had to be earned, if peace came with a price, that became your baseline. But here's the deal. Familiar doesn't equal safe. Repeated doesn't mean right. And just because it went unquestioned doesn't mean it deserves a free pass. You grew up in a system that shaped how you see love, safety, emotion, conflict, trust. And if that system was built on fear, shame, silence, or suppression, then not questioning that deeply ingrained normal is what keeps the pain on loop. So if normal wasn't healthy, how deeply did that flawed foundation twist your sense of what's true about you? The scary answer to why those unhealthy normals felt so real, to why those negative beliefs took root, you weren't just shaped by your parents' rules, you were shaped by their pain. If your mum was emotionally unavailable, maybe she was taught vulnerability was weakness. If your dad never told you he was proud, maybe he never heard it himself. If your caregivers exploded over the tiniest of things, maybe no one ever taught them emotional regulation. Maybe your mum always worried about what the neighbours thought. And now you find yourself doing the same, even without knowing why. This is where we confront one of the most powerful truths of the series. You didn't just learn lessons, you absorbed the frantic wiring of people who were in survival mode. And that's the lens through which you now see the world. It's not an excuse, it's an explanation. You didn't just inherit their hair colour or their temper. You inherited their emotional wiring, their beliefs, their wounds. And now, you're the one carrying it, unless you decide to break it. So let's talk about this blueprint. Most people think they chose their habits, their boundaries, their self-worth. But the truth? They were wired into your system before you had the capacity to choose anything differently. You were taught what emotions are allowed, what kind of love is deserved, whether your needs were too much, whether you were worthy as is, or only when proving your worth through what you did. So now we need to ask, if the people who instilled these beliefs were emotionally suppressed, insecure, reactive, why should their beliefs be running your life? You don't need to demonize your parents to see the pattern. But you do need to stop protecting that pattern with silence. Because the pattern won't stop until someone decides to stop living it out. And one of the most powerful questions you can ask right now is, who taught you that? To help you explore this, I've created a free guide called Who Taught You That? It's packed with questions to help you figure out where those beliefs come from and start making your own choices. You can find the link in the description box below. Believe it or not, Your beliefs didn't form out of thin air. You were taught by people who were taught by people who were taught by people. See where this is going? It goes back generations. So now, ask yourself, were the people who taught me these beliefs happy? Were they emotionally free? Did they feel safe in their bodies? Safe to speak? Safe to feel? Because if the answer to any of that is no, why are their voices still dictating your own? If you want to, you can outgrow what they couldn't. That's not betrayal, that's evolution. You don't need their permission to do it differently. You don't need their approval to break the cycle. You just need clarity on one thing. Their pain doesn't get to run your life. So what it boils down to is this. This wasn't your design, but now the choices are yours. You don't need to keep defending broken patterns just because they came from someone you love. You're allowed to ask, is this belief true? Does it align with reality? Is it kind to yourself and others? Is it mine, or did it come from someone else? And if not, you can change it. You are the adult now. You are the one who gets to protect the younger version of you. Not by blaming the past, but by choosing differently on purpose. So from now on, when your old wiring kicks in, the guilt, the shame, the fear of being too much or not enough, remember this. Just because it was normal doesn't mean it was right. Now, go build a life that truly feels like you. Hit the comments if this sparked something for you. What's the one thing you're curious about questioning this week? And if you're done letting old baggage dictate your life, hit subscribe. Here, we're all about taking control and living authentically. No holding back. See you in the next one.